According to CBS News, in 1977, 1,566,994 animals were tested on, and in 2012, 2,705,772 animals were tested on, meaning the number of animals used for testing rose 73% in just 15 years. With the amount of technology and resources there are plenty of alternatives to make sure products are safe other than testing on animals. During this speech, I will tell you methods of how animals are tested, how many animals are affected, and some other methods that get the same or better results than testing on animals. According to CNBC, 67% of Americans are very concerned or somewhat concerned about the testing of animals. China, Japan, and America are the countries that test the most animals according to the IAAPEA, and 75% of cosmetic companies used animals to test on. One kind of popular test that is done is called the lethal dose 50 procedure, or LD50. This test is when scientists insert a dose down the animal's throat. The animal could be forced to breathe it in by vapor, or injected or applied to the animal's skin. About 60 animals will be used in average. They will use one species at a time. The species that are used may be rabbits, mice, birds, or fish. They will give the dose to an equal group of male and female animals. The test will last up to 14 days, or when all of the animals die. The animals may cry tears, diarrhea, discharge, bleeding from the eyes or mouth, or convulsions if they are showing signs of poisoning. If the animal survives the 14 days or heals, they will be considered a survivor, to show that the dose was given less toxic than a high number of animals will survive. Another highly used way to test on animals is to test cosmetics on the animals. IAAPEA says that 75% of cosmetic testing is being done in China. According to HIS, rabbits, guinea pigs, hamsters, rats, and mice are most commonly used to test cosmetics. Dogs and monkeys are not used to test cosmetics but are used for other chemicals. The scientists will shave the animal's fur and rub or drip the chemicals into the eyes and surrounding areas. Another method is to force feed the chemical to the animal. The scientists will look for months at the animal and after receiving the treatment. The side effects can be death, bleeding skin, convulsions, blindness, and internal organ damages. The animals do not receive any kind of painkiller, and at the end of the experiment, the animals are killed by getting their necks snapped, asphyxiation, or decapitation. There are many animals being killed on a daily basis due to these types of tests. There is up to as many as 25 million animals that have been tested in just one country. That country is USA. IAAPEA says that 12 to 25 million animals have been tested on just the USA alone. The country that has the second most animals tested on is Norway, and they have tested on over 11 million. With today's technology, there are many alternatives to killing these animals. There are many alternatives to testing products and chemicals that do not involve harming or killing animals. One method to test products is in vitro testing. According to the UMDEY.com, this is when scientists study cells in a petri dish. They can observe how the cells react to drugs or chemicals without harming anyone or any animal. This method actually provides more relevant data because the cells are used from a human. A scientist can also give a small amount of drug to a human volunteer to see how they react. The dosage will be too small to cause any harm, but will provide information of how humans will react to the drug. There are also computer simulations that can be used. This allows scientists to recreate the effects of the drug without having to harm any living thing. CNBC says that a huge makeup company, L'Oreal, is using lab-produced tissue to test their products. Other brands that are included are Lancome, Maybelline New York, Ralph Lauren Fragrances, and The Body Shop. This tissue is called EpiSkin. L'Oreal also sells this product to other manufacturers to help reduce the number of animals tested on. They are also currently working with an engineer to create 3D printed hair follicles. L'Oreal grows 100,000 samples of skin tissue each year. These are some of the most common and most effective solutions to testing on animals. Now you know that some of the ways that animals are treated, how many of the animals are affected, and and some solutions that involve technology and no animals are harmed. With the amount of technology and resources there are plenty of alternatives to make sure that the products are safe rather than testing on animals. I hope now that you know how cruel animals are treated you will double think about how some of the products you are using and will think about donating to the other options.